We often look for big animals when we go diving. The ocean's smallest creatures deserve our attention as well. Although divers don't notice many of the ocean's smallest creatures, these animals are nonetheless just as important to the ocean's ecosystem. In no particular order, here are our top picks for 8 of the smallest animals in the sea. If you are new to the channel, then hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification. Marine viruses. We're starting small, really small. Every time you swallow a mouthful of seawater while swimming at the beach, you're downing about as many viruses as there are people in North America. However, despite the staggering abundance of marine viruses and the key role that these infectious agents seem to play in global processes like the carbon cycle, scientists still know relatively little about the variety of viruses that are out there. Marine viruses exist just as they do on land, with the tiniest measuring only 40 nanometers in diameter. 1 nanometer is 1 billionth of a meter, just for reference. The largest marine viruses reach up to 400 nanometers, and are still invisible to the human eye without an intense microscope. There are millions of kinds of marine viruses, with various sizes and destructive capabilities. Marine bacteria. Again, just as on dry land, the seas are home to countless marine bacteria. These are the second smallest organisms in the sea. Marine bacteria are single-celled organisms that can be shaped like little spheres, rods, or, less commonly, spirals. They are often very small, with cell diameters of just a few microns, about 1/100th the width of a human hair. They perform all kinds of chemical processes in the open ocean, including most of the steps in nitrogen cycling. Cyanobacteria are a large group of photosynthetic bacteria, some of which can fix nitrogen, converting nitrogen gas into more biologically useful compounds. Cyanobacteria live in all kinds of environments, but are especially important in open ocean ecosystems. They were formerly known as blue-green algae but are now recognized as a type of bacteria, not a type of algae. Larger than marine viruses, many of these bacteria are still tiny at around 1000 nanometers long. Although they are much larger than marine viruses, they are still invisible to the naked human eye. Let me know in the comment if you have found any of these amazing creatures. Algae. Marine algae are an important primary producer in the marine food chain, and affect the biogeochemical cycle of arsenic in the marine ecosystem. Marine algae have the capacity to accumulate 1000 times more arsenic than its concentration in the surrounding sea water. Most of the planet's smallest plant organisms call the sea home, and many of them are single-celled green algae specimens. They are usually around 5 times bigger than marine bacteria, about 5 micrometers, 5000 nanometers. Marine algae or seaweeds are traditional Asian foods, particularly common in Japan and Korea. It is consumed as a snack or as ingredients in dishes or soups. These tiny algae are often prey for larger, yet still small, marine critters. Dwarf lantern shark. Although it may come as a surprise that a shark is on our list of the ocean's smallest creatures, many species are actually contenders. The smallest among them is the dwarf lantern shark, measuring only 7.8 inches, 20 centimeters, long. The smallest shark, a dwarf lantern shark, is smaller than a human hand. It's rarely seen and little is known about it, having only been observed a few times off the northern tip of South America at depths between 283 to 439 meters, 928 to 1,440 feet. Like other lantern sharks, the dwarf lantern shark has light-emitting organs called photophores along its belly and fins. These help them camouflage when they feed in shallower water. The lit-up belly blends in with sunlight streaming down from above. In darker water, the light attracts smaller animals, which the shark preys upon. It also has big eyes, for a shark, to help it see in the mostly dark waters of the ocean's twilight zone. Juvenile frogfish. Also known as clown anglerfish, clown frogfish, galloping clown frogfish. Frogfish get a lot of attention from divers, especially underwater photographers. Ranging in size and color, these fish are so ugly they're cute. Adult frogfish can vary in size from an inch or two up to almost 12 inches, 30 centimeters. But it's the babies that have a place on our tiny critter list. Depending on the type of frogfish, some juveniles can be smaller than an inch long, or a few millimeters. Frogfish are masters at camouflage and will change to match their surroundings. They lure their prey with a stalk between their eyes that copies the movements of its prey. Their mouth can open and expand to the width of their bodies to engulf its prey. It's notoriously difficult to find these little guys, but the search is worth it. Nudibranch. The bottom-dwelling, jelly-bodied nudibranch, might seem an unlikely canvas for Mother Nature to express her wildest indulgences of color and form. But these shell-less mollusks, part of the sea slug family, bear some of the most fascinating shapes, sumptuous hues, and intricate patterns of any animal. Varying in color, pattern, and size, the nudibranch, a shell-less mollusk, is another diver favorite. There are over 3,000 species of nudies, with more appearing almost daily. Nudibranchs derive their coloring from the food they eat, which helps in camouflage, and some even retain the foul-tasting poisons of their prey and secrete them as a defense against predators. They are hermaphrodites and can mate with any mature specimen of their kind to produce offspring. Their lifespan varies widely, with some living less than a month, and others living up to 1 year. While these colorful creatures can grow up to around 12 inches, 30 centimeters, long, the smallest are less than 1/4 inch long, 4 millimeters. Pygmy seahorse. Last but not least is the pygmy seahorse. As their name suggests, pygmy seahorses are tiny fish that are nearly indistinguishable from their habitats due to their size and extreme camouflage. They are so well camouflaged that Barjabant's pygmy seahorse was only discovered after a host gorgonian was collected and observed by marine biologist George Barjabant. They are not only one of the smallest seahorse species but also one of the tiniest popular macro-photographic subjects. They don't typically grow to more than an inch long, 2.4 centimeters, long. Depending on their age and species, however, it's not unusual to find them much smaller. Barjabant's pygmy seahorses take the color of whichever species of gorgonian corals they live on. Unlike other seahorses, male pygmy seahorses use a pouch in their trunk, not their tail, to brood their young. Young pygmy seahorses are often so small, only millimeters in size, that they are virtually invisible to a diver's eye, especially since they are almost always perfectly camouflaged to match their surroundings. If you like this video, then hit that like button. If you want more videos like this, then smash that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of the new videos. See you next time.